Hello. So I wanted to come on here after I figured out my phone storage stuff. It cut me off earlier. So I was talking about toxic female traits in relationships or committed relationships, marriage. Um, I went over the four that I think are pretty much the top toxic traits that women have or could have. Um, the first one was withholding sex and intimacy. The second one was giving a cold shoulder or ignoring your partner. Um, Anger, degrading, especially being disrespectful in public to other people. And then using your children as means to get back at your significant other. And these can go either way. I mean, men can have these toxic traits as well. Probably not so much withholding sex, but um, you know, I think it's super important to communicate. And the kind of wanted to just like do this video or these videos as a warning. Um, for those who want to stay in relationship and want to make it work, just look for these different toxic traits and try to work on them, together. If you love somebody, you work together to fix things and to make things better. Um, Hopefully it doesn't get to that point where, like, the point of no return, like it has for a lot of us. Um, I was there and I always use this as an example because it's true, and I've experienced being ignored for many years, and trying to work it out and trying to make it work, and just building resentment and bitterness. And I mean, it all kind of like snowballs into all this negative stuff in your relationship to where you just become numb to any reconciliation, and you basically become roommates and sex buddies. It's pretty much what it was for me for a long time. Um, so, uh, ways to communicate your feelings, ladies. If you're not, there has to be equal partnership in this. You have to give. It's always a give and take in a relationship. Open up and talk to him about how you're feeling. If you're not feeling like having sex because your heart's not in it, you want to talk about those things. And men, do things that will, like, help her out, meet her halfway. Women are tired sometimes, and it takes energy to have sex, and, help her around the house. Everything should be equal partnership, especially in this day and age when both people are working, and then you have kids. Even if you don't have kids, that, you still want to help each other out as much as you can. I don't believe in, as far as household chores or just doing things that there's a specific role for either sex. I mean, some things, yeah, like, I mean, some women like to go outside and mow the grass. One day I would like to have a garden, and I would be doing gardening a lot. um take the trash out for them. Maybe had a long day at work and the trash is full. Why get mad and start a fight because he's too tired to take? I mean, just stuff like that. Help her out, help her with dinner, or make dinner one night. um be playful, help each other. Make dinner together and flirt while you're in the kitchen. I love that. um so there's different ways that you can rekindle that flame. um Hopefully you haven't reached the point of no return in your relationship where you don't want to work on these things. That's why I'm hoping that people will watch this video and say, oh yeah, maybe we can do this together, work together on these different things. And just don't ignore your partner. um even if you don't feel like talking, say, tonight's not a good night. I really want to be by myself. Give each other space. Yes, when you're in a committed relationship and you've been in one for years, if you're married, you still need space. I mean, everybody needs their own space. There's nothing wrong with that. It's and it might be hard for those who have a love language of physical touch. So, but still, just know that everybody needs some type of space. Let them go hang out with the guys one night. Let her go out with her friends one night. I mean, simple stuff can solve a lot of problems. Never degrade your boyfriend or your husband in public, please, ladies, because if I see it, you'll get something out of me. If I don't know you, I'll give you a go to hell look, because I find it very disrespectful. I do not like for a woman to be disrespectful to her boyfriend or her husband in public. That is something that I've never done, even when I was very angry, even at a young age. It's just something, I don't know, it was instilled in me, but it's just something I've never done. I mean, unless you're playful about it, if you're back and forth and you tease each other back and forth. I mean, everybody has their own way of communicating, but to just be downright disrespectful and degrade him around other people, it's the worst. And then using your children as means to get revenge only hurts the kids. Kids should not be involved in their parents' conflicts, especially if you're like separated and your kids. It hurts the kids. It does not hurt. I mean, it hurts the other parent, but it's the worst is, and this is something that just probably needs to have its own video, but ladies, don't use your kids to hurt your ex, because you're not hurting him like you're hurting your kids. And if you love your kids, you will allow them a relationship with their father. Has nothing to do with him. At some point you got to forgive him and get over it, whatever it was, but don't keep your kids from their dad. Their relationship with their father is separate from your relationship with their father. Your kids should be able to love whoever they want to love, especially their father. Like, don't hold money over his head. He shouldn't have to pay to see his children, especially if he's trying. So that's something I've never did and I'm not bragging, but this is my mindset. All I wanted was for my kid's dad to be in part of their life. And I didn't get a cent from him while he was still with us here. He's passed away, but I've got over a 10-year period, maybe $3,000 or $4,000 for 3 kids. He was court ordered to pay and everything, and all I wanted was for him to have a relationship with his kids. But I was the one that always made the effort. That's my mindset, because I love my kids. And they know the truth now of what happened. But I never kept them from their dad. So please don't use your kids. You never know if you never know, life happens, and just put it this way, when they grow up, I'm not saying they won't forgive you, but they will find out the truth about their daddy. They'll want to know their father, probably when they're a teenager, especially, both boys and girls, but especially their son. Sons need their dad. Daughters need their dad too when they reach a certain age. Allow him to be their protector, not just their provider. It's so important. Unless he's an abuser, or he's a drug addict, or, you should allow your kids to be in their dad's lives, or allow your kid's dad to be in their life. Anyway, very passionate subject for me, so makes me angry and it makes me cry, and I just get all kinds of feelings, especially now, that all hope for my kids having a relationship with their dad is diminished because he's no longer here with us. So I did what I could. I never took him to court. Anyway, I'm just going off on a rant. So female toxic traits: withholding sex, not good. Talk about things. Talk about your feelings. Flirt during the day with each other. It leads up to a great night. Don't ignore them. Don't degrade them in public, especially. Even at home. Don't degrade your man and make him feel small or worthless, ever. That's like the worst thing you can do to a man, I think. Guys, I'm waiting on you for your opinions. Tell me if I'm wrong, because I really believe that. I hate that. And then your children. Be on the same page with discipline. Be on the same page with, just how you raise your kids in general. If one parent tells the child no, then it should be no, period. It should be a team effort to raise your kids. You should both be on the same page about things, about how to raise them, discipline them, etc. Just the way it should be. To be an effective parent and raise your children properly, you both need to be on the same page. You can have different opinions, but when it comes down to it, especially with discipline and structure, same page. So anyway, this is all over the place. It went all over the place. So anyway, 12 minutes long. So yay, I made it. Have a good night.